According to the Federal Reserve, American households carry over $1 trillion in credit card debt. And the average person making only minimum payments is trapped for nearly 17 years, paying triple what they borrowed. Imagine paying $13,000 just to erase a $5,000 balance. If you've ever celebrated a just $50 a month deal, but sweated over a $5 coffee, you're not alone. This video will expose the costly psychology behind minimum payments, the silent trap designed by banks to keep you stuck, and the proven system to break free. Stick with me. I'll show you how to flip the script and claim the $46,000 most people never see. Let's start. Have you ever stepped into an electronics store, drooled over an 80-inch TV, or the kind of couch that makes you think about hosting friends every weekend, and then your heart sinks at the price? Until you see that little sign next to it. Just $50 a month. Suddenly, relief washes over you. I can handle $50 a month, you tell yourself, while just this morning you felt guilty about that $5 latte. If you're in your 20s or 30s, earning a middle-class income, and you know the pain of that recurring debt balance that never seems to go away, this is your video. I'm Jim, and I've spent years studying not just money, but the real reasons people, especially my own audience here at Jim Invests, get stuck in the minimum payment hamster wheel. Most of us have watched our debt go down, then right back up again, like financial tides. Most of us have felt the quiet, nagging burden of balances that never truly leave. Now here's where it gets scary. We stress about those tiny daily splurges, the morning coffee, the $8 sandwich. Yet we feel victorious signing that $50 per month contract on furniture, electronics, or a new phone. Why do we guilt trip ourselves over $5 but feel so calm about $12,000 of long-term debt just because the payment is small? Let's take a look at Alex. Alex was 32, working a steady job, and over 5 years accumulated $7,400 on credit cards, half small splurges, half emergencies. The minimum payment hovered at $90 a month. It felt manageable, like another utility bill. So Alex didn't worry about it. Except, over 5 years, that manageable bill added up to $13,800, nearly double the original balance. What's worse? Alex didn't feel peace, just regret for the money and for years of anxiety spent holding onto an illusion of responsibility. By the way, if Alex's story hits home, drop a comment below with the most frustrating payment you're still stuck with. Credit card, car, student loans, anything. Trust me, you're not alone. Researchers at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found that nearly half of Americans carry credit card balances every month, and the average household with debt owes more than $7,800. That means what happened to Alex is not rare. It's the rule. So what is actually happening? Why do we obsess over small daily costs while ignoring the giant silent cost of long-term debt? It all comes down to a concept called debt tolerance. Basically, debt tolerance is what happens when carrying a debt balance becomes so normal, you stop even noticing it. Instead of treating it as a crisis, your mind recasts it as a fixed monthly bill, just like water, electricity, or internet. But that is a dangerous shift. This normalization is more dangerous than even high interest rates, which most people focus on. A high interest rate, say $500 a month in credit card interest, would feel like a crisis. It hurts. It pushes your brain's pain alarm. But banks are smart. Instead of punching you with pain, they stretch out your payments. That $500 monthly pain gets massaged down to $150 a month, but stretched over 10 years. Suddenly, the pain is dulled. The debt fades to the background. That's not an accident. The lender's true goal isn't to get repaid quickly. It's to keep you paying quietly for as long as possible, all while requiring almost no psychological discomfort. Think of debt tolerance like a chronic financial illness. Like cancer you don't feel in the early stages. You don't notice that single rogue cell, just like you don't feel the slow sapping of your future through a $50 monthly payment. But over the years, those small, unnoticed payments drain away your future freedom, your ability to invest, your energy for new opportunities. So how does this system keep so many people trapped? It is built on what I call the 3 invisible debts. The ones almost every household carries, but almost no one treats as an emergency. Invisible debt number 1. Extended student loans. Maybe you graduated years ago, signed up for an income-driven repayment plan, and now pay just a few $100s a month. Feels manageable. But what's really happening? That plan can stretch your loan payoff from 10 years to 20, or even 25. You're not paying down the principal quickly. You're paying thousands for the privilege of keeping the debt alive. Invisible debt number 2. 0% APR installment plans. You see these everywhere now. Furniture, laptops, fitness equipment, $0 down, $40 a month, 0 interest. But usually, the price is higher for financing. And if you slip up, one missed payment, 1 month over the term, retroactive 29.99% interest can apply to the original total. The low monthly payment tricks your brain into ignoring just how much you originally borrowed. Invisible debt number 3. The credit card minimum. This is by far the sneakiest. When you owe $10,000, most people fixate on the $180 minimum payment. They almost never look at the balance. That's by design. The payment feels responsible, like you're handling it. But meanwhile, the interest is working overtime to keep you in debt. Let's put it bluntly. When you're paying only the minimum, you're not buying back your freedom. You're just paying rent on a debt. That money buys you a rent extension, not real ownership or peace. And the banks know it. This brings us to the real root of the trap. Financial institutions are experts in what motivates and distracts your brain. They design loan products using psychological levers to keep debt from ever feeling painful, but ultimately cost you far more. Here are the 2 main tactics: extended loan terms and bundling. Let's talk about extended terms first. 30 years ago, your car loan was probably 3 years. Today, 7-year car loans or 5-year furniture loans are standard. Why? Because lowering your monthly pain gets you buying more expensive stuff, more often with very little immediate guilt. Let's run an example. You want a $30,000 RV. A 3-year loan means paying around $900 a month. Ouch! Most people would pause. But the dealer says, no problem. Let's make it 10 years, just $350 a month. Suddenly, you're in. But here's the kicker. The 3-year plan costs maybe $34,000 total, with interest. The 10-year plan? Over $42,000. That's $8,000 extra just for the comfort of a lower payment. You paid $8,000 for an emotional anesthetic. Next, bundling. You walk in for a $1,500 laptop. The salesperson offers, add the extended warranty and software for just $10 more a month. All of a sudden, you're financing a $2,000 purchase at a non-promotional rate, spread out for years. Most people just see the $10 increment, not the true cost hiding underneath. They rely on the fact that your brain prefers simple numbers, not tracking 5 moving parts over 36 months. Why do banks and dealerships operate this way? Because as long as your focus is on the payment, not the price, you won't object. The more they can complicate the actual tally, the more likely you are to stick with what feels manageable. Let's take car loans. You think you're rolling over a small gap in equity, maybe adding a maintenance plan, even insurance, and pretty soon your $50,000 loan is $62,000. All in. Now you're paying $900 per month for 7 years. It's overwhelming, but the pain is camouflaged. Pause here. A quick, what's the one debt you most wish you could erase tomorrow? Be honest and type it below. No judgment. Sharing stories helps the whole community here at Jim Invests. The core of this trap is that the whole system, from car dealerships to credit card companies, is set up to reward your willingness to be comfortable, not your desire to be truly responsible. Every extension, every bundle, every automatic payment is a hidden tax on your future. Let's talk about the real victim here. Your future self, your net worth, and your peace of mind. The worst part of debt tolerance isn't the interest alone. It's the opportunity cost. In other words, what could that same monthly payment accomplish if you used it differently? Let's try radical contrast. Imagine you're making $250 a month payments on a $40,000 debt. What if instead you took that $250 and automatically invested it in an S&P 500 index fund at 8% average annual return? Over 10 years, $250 a month invested becomes over $46,000. But when you pay off debt, your net worth increases only by the amount of principal you repay, minus the interest lost. On debt, your $250 a month yields zero wealth, and in fact, negative due to interest paid. On investments, the math works for you. Remember, this is educational only, not financial advice. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Consult a licensed financial advisor for your situation. So, which are you buying? Short-term comfort or long-term freedom? That $250 is the same money, but one path gives you nothing but relief from anxiety. The other could double your net worth over a decade. According to Experian, the average American household with credit card debt pays more than $1,380 in interest per year. That's over $13,000 in a decade. Money that could be growing, not draining away. Here's a question for you. Are you paying for security in the present or selling out your future? Because every comfortable minimum payment means thousands less in net worth years from now. Still following? In just a second, I'll show you exactly how to flip this math with something I call the sledgehammer method, an approach that can slice years off your debt payoff. Before we get there, let's quickly visualize just how insidious minimum payments can get, especially when you're juggling several debts at once. The minimum payment trap is what turns daily life into a perpetual financial hamster wheel. Let's lay it out. You have 4 payments: $50 for furniture, $350 for student loans, $250 credit card minimum, and $900 for that truck. Each month, you spin a dozen plates: due dates, interest rates, minimums. When you make all the payments, You feel successful. But have you built any wealth? Are your balances actually coming down? Often no. Here's why. The minimum payment is designed to cover as much interest as possible and only a sliver of the principal. Want to see the math? Say you have $5,000 in credit card debt at 24% APR and you stop using the card. If you only pay the $50 minimum each month, how long does it take to erase that $5,000? The answer? More than 17 years. And you'll pay almost $13,000 total. In other words, you'll shell out $8,000 just in interest, triple what you borrowed, simply to buy the illusion of a manageable monthly payment. That's not helping you. That's mortgaging your future for comfort today. And that is a trap the banks know and study. To quote the Federal Reserve, most consumers who make only minimum payments on revolving debt experience significantly longer payoff periods and much higher total interest costs. Federal Reserve Report 2023. Here's Nina's story. At 29, Nina had $15,000 in student and car loans. For years, she did the minimum, thinking she was being responsible, but always feeling anxious as balances barely budged. Then she calculated the full interest cost, $7,200 extra if she stayed on that path, and nearly 12 more years stuck. That realization pushed Nina to go all in. She cut all extra spending and paid everything extra to the highest interest balance. In under 3 years, she was debt-free. And the transformation? Nina talked about feeling 10 years younger. Her stress lifted, her self-respect back. If you want to feel that kind of clarity, stick with me, because the next steps are your blueprint out. Let's introduce an even sneakier trap. The credit card shuffle. Most of us know the feeling. You can't make the big truck payment this month, so the insurance, maintenance, or groceries get put on a credit card. Boom! 24% interest kicks in, and the cycle repeats. You think you're surviving, but week after week, the total debt grows. You're the circus performer juggling payments, constantly moving, but never getting ahead. If this is you, take a screenshot right now of this section. These numbers. You need a line in the sand. If your debt balance rises month over month, or if your payoff date keeps drifting further away, you're treading water, not building wealth. It's time to stop admiring your ability to make every payment and start focusing on the actual debt-free date. Now here's the headline you've waited for. What is the cure for debt tolerance? It's not about comfort or minimums or mental tricks. It's about the move from tolerance to elimination. The Sledgehammer Method, a system I built after years of research and watching subscribers at Jim Invests turn their financial lives around, is direct. It's not always glamorous, but it gets you back your future faster than almost anything else. Here's the framework. Step 1. The shock number. Calculate the total pain. Stop looking at isolated monthly payments. Add up every debt, credit card, personal loan, student loan. Stare at the total principal left, not just the current payment. This is your shock number. Put it on your fridge, your phone background, your notebook. You have to break the comfort spell by facing the full number. Step 2. The freeze. Cut off new debt right now. If you want to build wealth, do not sign any new installment payments. No new 0% APR offers. No credit card expenses you can't pay in full this month. This isn't about deprivation forever. It's about stopping the financial bleeding. Eat out less. Downgrade your car if you need to. Every dollar saved accelerates the next step. Step 3. The sledgehammer attack and accelerate. Pick your weapon. Either the debt avalanche, pay off highest interest debt first for maximum math benefit, or the debt snowball, smallest balance first for fastest motivation. Whichever you choose, pay minimums everywhere, but dump every extra dollar onto your chosen target. When one debt dies, roll that whole payment over to the next. That's the snowball. Payments get bigger, your momentum skyrockets, and your debt-free date accelerates. If you want the free spreadsheet that helps you calculate your shock number and see which path, avalanche or snowball, gets you debt-free fastest, type sledgehammer in the comments or check my link below for direct access. Remember, this math is for illustration only. Every person's situation is unique. Consult a financial advisor before making any major moves. You're going to feel withdrawal from old spending habits. You'll miss some conveniences, but every dollar above the minimum you pay is a vote for your future self, not your lender. Here's a vision break. Picture opening your credit card portal in a year and seeing a $0 balance. Then realizing the $500 per month you use for payments is now being invested for your future. Imagine having a $10,000 safety net and the bank's paying you. Let me recap the main framework. 1. Calculate your shock number. Know your target. 2. Freeze new debt. Stop the bleeding. 3. Pick your repayment path. Avalanche for highest interest, or snowball for smallest first. And use the sledgehammer every month until each balance falls. This process isn't just about numbers. It's about regaining control, peace of mind, and, most importantly, choice. You don't owe the bank a lifetime of interest in exchange for comfort today. If your shock number truly shocked you, type "never again" in the comments right now. Let's start a movement of people refusing to finance future regret. And if you want a visual guide, share this with a friend who needs hope, not more shame. One last critical note. Aggressive debt payoff strategies aren't for everyone. Always be aware of your total expenses, cash flow, and make sure you have a small emergency buffer before diving in head first. Every example I share here is for educational purposes only. Your actual numbers, timelines, and outcomes will depend on your income, interest rates, and how hard you can attack your debt. For specific advice, please consult a licensed financial professional. So now, the real choice. Do you want to keep paying for the comfort of minimum payments, trading decades of interest for a painless today? Or are you ready to feel the pain once, hit debt with a sledgehammer, and claim a decade of real freedom? Calculate your shock number. Commit to the freeze and the sledgehammer. Imagine seeing zero balances a year or two from now, with more money stacking up every month. Not just for yourself, but for your family and your dreams. Minimum payments aren't safety. They're a life sentence. You're not paying off furniture. You're financing future regret. Let's make debt-free the new normal for our community at Jim Invests. Here's the bottom line. Minimum payments are a trap, keeping millions chained to years of debt. But you don't have to play by those rules. Today you learned how debt tolerance disguises real financial danger, how minimums and payment plans secretly drain your future, and how to reclaim your money and your hope using the sledgehammer method. Your first action step: calculate your total debt. Add up credit cards, loans, installment plans, and write that shock number down somewhere you'll see it daily. Then, commit to freezing any new debt and channel all extra funds at your top priority balance as we walked through. Over the next month, track every payment. Within 90 days, you should see your balance dropping faster. Stick with this for a year, and you'll be stunned how much control you regain. Track your progress monthly in your shock number spreadsheet and celebrate each debt destroyed. Most subscribers at Jim Invest start seeing momentum within 3 months and complete payoffs in timelines that amaze even themselves. Results will vary, but the first positive changes begin fast when you attack your debt. Just remember, your timeline depends on your income, spending, and interest rates. So check in with a licensed advisor anytime you make big money moves. If this video opened your eyes, I want you to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Next episode, we'll break down real-life strategies for investing that $500 a month once you're debt-free with exact risk and return numbers. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but I'll share the data so you can make an informed plan. Comment your biggest aha moment below, or drop a never again if you're committed. And share this video with a friend who needs to see the numbers. Let's break the cycle together at Jim Invests. Remember, this is educational only, not financial advice. Results and outcomes will depend on your situation. Consult a licensed advisor before making big financial moves, and know that past performance is never a guarantee of future results. Stay smart, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video.